A new tropical storm has developed near the South Carolina coastline this morning. Hello, I'm Mike Nasa with the latest on the tropics, and it's amazing. We had Bonnie move over Nicaragua and Costa Rica last night. It's now in the eastern Pacific. You can even see on the satellite down there, it's looking like it's creating a little eye, so it should be a hurricane and stay offshore Mexico here. However, yesterday and overnight, we had a low pressure area right inland along the South Carolina coast, creating a lot of gusty winds just offshore on the beach to tropical storm force. They had enough convection with a low-level center to be designated as a new tropical storm, that is Tropical Storm Colin. Now here's the latest on Colin. As of 11 a.m. Eastern from the Hurricane Center, should be a new update at 2. As of 11 a.m. it was at 33.7 north, 79.0 west, winds of 40, so it's a minimal tropical storm, moving northeast at 7, very slowly right along the coast, and it should, based on the Hurricane Center's path, be a tropical storm through tomorrow night as it finally moves on off into the Atlantic Ocean. However, it is going to continue with tropical storm force winds, and we do have a tropical storm warning in effect from north of Little River Inlet, South Carolina, to Duck, North Carolina, including Pamlico Sound. So this whole area here is under a tropical storm warning with the expectation of tropical storm winds. You can see we have had some very strong wind gusts in the last 12 hours on buoys right offshore, and that warranted the upgrade to a tropical storm. Here's a beautiful true color imagery, and you can see a couple little spins in here, so it's not well organized by any means. However, there is enough of a circulation, and it does have thunderstorm activity, mostly away from the center offshore, thankfully, that it is a tropical storm. You can see it is on the edge of moisture down here, and then a little bit of drier air mass to the north, and that is creating a kind of lopsided system. Nevertheless, you can see on the radar, I am seeing good rotation here offshore, so it looks like the center's moved back offshore or relocated. That's possible when systems are ill-defined and weak like that, right off the coastline there of Myrtle Beach. In fact, if we take another look at the Wilmington radar, you can see there is definitely some stormy weather right offshore, so today is not the day to bring any boats offshore in areas of Wilmington, Morehead City, Cape Fear, anywhere like that. Now, this was shared on Twitter, and you can see these are reports that we've had throughout the last, say, 12 hours or so of tropical storm force winds and gusts along the South Carolina coast. Large tree down, gusty winds, wind gusts to, goodness, over 50 miles per hour. Wind gusts over tropical storm force Sullivan's Island. And then up here you had a wind gust over 40 miles an hour. So it did drag along from Folly Beach to Isle of Palms all the way northward to Bull Island with tropical storm force winds off the coastline of Charleston and Myrtle Beach. So that was why they upgraded it. You can see the models are straightforward. It's going to continue right off the coastline and be one of those classic Northeast July tracks like I showed you the other day. But nevertheless, there is still the threat of heavy rainfall. Thankfully, like I mentioned, most of it's offshore, but still 4 to 6 inches possible. So areas there along the North Carolina coast, you guys could be in for a wet weekend. However, by the 4th of July, it should move on out, so hopefully you'll have nice weather. The key messages for Tropical Storm Colin. Number 1, tropical storm warning conditions in that warning area along North Carolina coastline this afternoon into Sunday. We already saw tropical storm force winds, certainly in gusts. Number 2, rough surf and rip currents. That's very dangerous. I would stay out of the water. If you do get caught in a rip current, let it take you out a little bit. Swim up the beach or down the beach. Don't swim against it back into the surf. And number 3, areas of heavy rain could result in localized flash flooding across portions of coastal North Carolina through Sunday morning. Now we go to Bonnie. Bonnie has retained its name into the Pacific. It moved across southern Nicaragua and areas there of northern Costa Rica, and you can see as of 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Central, it was at 11.2 north, 86.4 west, winds of 40, moving west at 15, and it was really coming together at landfall. It would have been a hurricane or even a powerful hurricane if it had gotten its act together back north of Venezuela. However, it did bring tropical storm force conditions. We still have those warnings out for areas on the Pacific side of Nicaragua and Costa Rica. However, it should move on towards the west-northwest and take that classic track out to sea off the coast of Mexico but become a hurricane. The forecast from the Hurricane Center sometime late Monday, early Tuesday, become a hurricane, Category 1. I got to be honest with you, though, looking at this visible satellite imagery, this is around where the center is, and we're even seeing eye-type features. So don't be surprised if this thing tries to crank into a hurricane even earlier. Like I said, the good news is, other than high swells, it is moving away from land now. There you can see the deep convection away from the center, but it is organizing over those very, very hot waters after moving across areas there of Central America. So that'll do it for the tropics. We have Tropical Storm Colin buffeting areas of North and South Carolina here. An unexpected tropical storm. It's going to be swept out here, and we won't have to deal with it within the next 24 to 48 hours. We have Tropical Storm Bonnie, which is cut across into the Pacific, looking a lot more organized, looking like it's almost a hurricane based on that visible satellite, unless that's just trickery of the eyes. However, it should become a hurricane and remain out at sea. And then we have a pretty good wave that we've been watching moved across the central Atlantic into the Caribbean Sea. We will keep an eye on that. I'm Mike Naso with the latest on Bonnie and Colin, and I will talk to you guys next time.